Finally, the mysteries surrounding the Collector are slowly but surely being lifted. Ever since his first appearance, we've been asking ourselves who the Collector really is, where he came from, and what his intentions are. At last, in For the Future, we got crucial hints helping us decipher the puzzle that is the Collector. In this video, you will learn everything about the Collector's origins. Clearly, the most important information is found in the book King reads to the Collector. The first page reads, "Collectors live long, we watch things pass. To preserve, to observe, we must amass. What flies, what swims, predator or prey, seal them up so they may never fade. But should they meddle in our affairs, we'll clean the planet and scorch the air." This is a lot to process at once, so let's go through this line for line. We already figured Collectors live long, and therefore watch many things in eras as they pass by them. But that's not the line's main point. Here, the book speaks of collectors in the plural, meaning that our Collector is not the Collector, but in fact a Collector. There used to be, or are, many more. On top of that, in the same line, the author refers to the Collectors as we, meaning that the book was written by a Collector. Seems trivial to point that out specifically, but this tiny expression allows us to take the following line's word for it, given the Collectors presumably honestly describe themselves here. Their goal is to preserve, observe, amass what flies, swims, predator or prey. This last bit just translates to every living being. And this last line alone does not seem immoral or evil in any way. Preserving existing species sounds like a noble intention. However, the next lines reveal that their methods of doing so are, how do I put it gently, super f***ed up. The Collector's idea of preserving means to seal the living beings away. Yes, while they are alive, of course. And no, they do not care if the ones being sealed are okay with that. Because if they aren't and try opposing the Collectors, they'll all be killed. Whether resistance results in a species being defeated and then sealed, or in being completely erased and denied the right to be preserved is unclear here. Though, to the victims, this matters little, as each of the outcomes fundamentally equals a variation of death. To sum up the contents of the book page, the Collectors aim to preserve every life form in the universe by sealing them away. But basically, be it sealing or merging them, the Collectors are going around killing off other species. Now, we can add some of the other info relating to the Collectors we've gathered over the course of the show to the info we drew from the book for further interesting findings. To start, in For the Future, our Collector has been merrily turning everyone into puppets. The fact that he turns them into toys is probably due to his own playful nature, but we can guess that generally Collectors use the same technique to seal living beings, by turning them into inanimate objects that retain the original physical appearance and obviously cannot die or wither anymore. The Collectors can easily amass all the species they gather, presenting them in a showcase to preserve and observe them for all time. That's where they get their name from. Taking into account that the book distinctly mentions planets, the story of the Collectors originating from a different planet than the Demon Realm and being able to travel through space writes itself. Considering in addition that Kikimora explained the Collector is supposedly a child of the stars, further supports that notion. Well, at some point their next target planet became the Demon Realm, and this is shown in this picture. And here is our Collector accompanying them, what explains how he came to the Boiling Isles. By the way, this painting also reveals that our Collector is literally a child and does not only have the appearance of one, what explains why he behaves the way he does. Anyway, when the Collectors arrived, the Great Titans still roamed the planet. Of course, they were not particularly fond of the proposal of being sealed away for eternity, so they fought the Collectors. And why shouldn't they, when it just so happens that Titan magic can cancel out Collector magic? though we do admittedly not know yet how that works exactly. The collectors surely had a few more aces up their sleeves. For instance, they may have dressed up like Titans and ambushed them. In other words, despite the resistance, the collectors went about their usual procedure and wiped out the entire Titan race, finally giving us an answer to the question that had plagued us ever since Season 1. And this is also how the Titan Trappers came to worship the collectors. Presumably they are natives of the Demon Realm too, and have always felt threatened by the superior Titans, what led to constant conflict between the tribes. Consequently, when the collectors arrived and killed off all the Titans, they began celebrating them as their heroes. Additionally, it's also conceivable the collectors and Titan Trappers temporarily cooperated in order to defeat their shared enemy. What would provide another possible explanation for the collectors being dressed up like Titans in this scene. Though I do not have a proper explanation for this subscribe button, it's probably best you hit it since it's already here. Generally, the Titan Trappers surviving to this day and also King's egg being unscathed until he hatched suggests that the collectors were not capable of finishing the job of preserving the Demon Realm's life. After all, if they had managed to kill every last Titan without a problem, why would they then just stop and leave the Titan Trappers and King's egg be? There is a particular reason why they could not bring things to an end. Based on everything we know about King's dad, he was quite a special Titan, especially so for being the one who sealed our collector. Maybe he was the king of Titans. In any case, he must have been extraordinarily powerful, making it plausible he was the very last Titan standing. While all the other Titans had already fallen victim to the collectors, he continued defying them incessantly, because he could not give up and surrender his unhatched son. This exact situation can be seen here in this picture. Eventually, the collectors decided killing this last Titan was simply beyond them. His anti-collector magic was just too strong, and his kind is lost anyways, so why risk further losses on their own side? The collectors fled before dealing with the Demon Realm's remaining inhabitants, explaining why only the Titans were afflicted by the collectors' assault. At last, with the enemy gone, King's dad succumbed to his wounds, dying happily, knowing he assured his son's survival. Right, that's nice and all, but question. Why is our collector still here when his comrades fled? This appears to be thanks to King. Obviously, fighting for his own and King's life, King's father killed all collectors in his way. However, during his rampage, he came across a child collector, one that did not even seem interested in fighting at that. This weird tiny being wanted to befriend him. Still, King's father could not take any chances, leaving a child collector be that would only grow up into a killing machine like the other adults. Yet, as a dad himself, he could not bear the thought of killing a child. Thus, he settled on sealing him instead. Consequently, the remaining collectors accidentally left him behind when they departed from the Demon Realm, possibly even believing him dead. Though I would like to offer an alternative to this theory. Based on this painting, chronologically, this scene occurred after the collectors first came to the Demon Realm, which is why it should not depict the adults welcoming our collector, given he had been there from the beginning. Instead, what we see here may be the adults banishing our collector, leaving him behind on purpose, bearing in mind that he only wants to play all the time and probably tried playing with the Titans back then. The other collectors could not call him an ally. To them, he was a threat because he got friendly with the enemy. On top of that, he was in no way motivated to support the collector's mission, hence making him worthless in their eyes. Still today, him considering King a Titan, his best friend, is the perfect proof that he does not follow the same ideals as his kin. Accordingly, even now that he's free, he's showing no signs of wishing to reunite with them. For more The Owl House cartoon and anime content, like this video and subscribe to Frogtoons.